Hey folks, Troy Dooley, the Beachside CEO. Hope you guys are just having an awesome time. Life is too short for us to not follow our passions, to go out there and really fulfill the objectives that we have in life, not just in business, but anywhere. And I've been thinking the last few days as I've been studying some court decisions, as I've been looking back over the last few years in network marketing. And network marketing's always been about helping people fulfill, well, let's put it this way. It's a two-sided street. It's companies that want to move their product as fast as they can to mainstream America. And it's people that want to be able to earn a good part-time income, possibly a full-time income, possibly an income they never dreamed of. That truly is what network marketing's about. And if you look back over the 65, 70 years, however long you want to look at it, that we've truly been in the network marketing phase. Now, direct selling goes back hundreds of years. Matter of fact, I'd say the first snake oil salesman or the Yankee peddlers were the first direct sales people, and we see that. But I want you to think about this for a minute, because this is the question that I came up with after I've been studying some of the legal decisions lately. I've been looking at what Wall Street says. I look at regulators. I look at what the media has been coming up with. And this is the question. Does the hype around the money stories affect us negatively? That's the question. Now, we all know that there are going to be money stories, and that's a great thing. When people have success, then that story needs to be told. When companies have success, that story needs to be told. But is the hype around those money stories, is that causing us problems? Now remember, if you look up the definition of hype, it's just a creative way to lie. And that's how I'm using the word right now. I'm not using it maybe how you think it is, but I'm talking about the legal definition. What's in the dictionaries says that hype is a lie. And you may say, well, Troy, is hype the right word? Well, here's what I want to look at. There are plenty of companies that like to tout their numbers. And listen, I'm the first one to try to get into the DS100, to grab that magazine. I want to see what the numbers are. I'm just like everybody else. But a couple of years ago, Solvay was one of the fastest growing companies out there, and a year later they were bankrupt. So to me, that's a problem, because all we're sharing is the front side of the story. Publicly traded companies in direct selling, they show everything, so it's not a big deal. But we have so many private companies that when a company starts sharing its numbers on the front end, hey, I've made 70 million, hey, I've made 100 million, hey, I made 200 million, hey, we hit 500,000. But if that's their revenues coming in, and that's all that is revenues, it's not their net profit, it's not showing what the back door is doing. This is another question that I wrote down because I'm pondering this. There's no case law on this one. Could companies sharing the front end numbers and not showing the back end numbers, could that lead to an enticement charge? If a CEO or the top executives are out there touting what their numbers are and not being full disclosure, not showing like a publicly traded company would have to, hey, here's how much came in, but here's how much came out, can that be classified an enticement? Now, the other side of the equation is the money stories from the field. Oh, I'm making $12 million a year. Hey, I'm making $50 million a year. Hey, I'm doing $50 million or $50,000 a month. Now, we know that if that is said wrong, that it's classified an enticement. But think about this for a minute. Every convention lately has been people walking across stage with their big giant checks. Maybe in the small print it says lifetime earnings. Maybe it says, hey, this is a bonus you're going to get, and we're going to, amortize it and over a 12-month or a 5-year period, whatever the case is. Maybe there's some fine print that says, hey, if you stay qualified. Well, then if we're not showing all that, is that classified an enticement with these big checks? Because we're not showing income disclosure statements on a lot of these videos because they're just popping up all over Facebook from people that have been in convention. If the fact that the person that's walking across the stage holding the check may have the distributorship may be in his name, but it may be owned by somebody else, is that an enticement? See, these are the questions that I think as an industry, as a community, that we have to address before regulators address them for us. What should we be doing with the money stories? What should companies do in their policies and procedures to stem the flow of unauthorized videos of checks going across stage? What should the board of directors or the executive team do to hold everyone accountable in the C-level offices not to overly hype the money stories? You know, all of this rings a bell, because if we do not self-police and think about these questions, if we don't sit here and say, okay, how can we fix the issues that we have? How can we put best practices into place? And I don't know if this is something that's done by the masses, the influencers, the noticers in network marketing, or if this is done by the associations, or if it will end up being done by the regulators. No matter what the case, I believe these are stout questions. Are the money stories from the corporate offices classified enticements? Are the money stories from the field classified enticements? Especially when they don't have income disclosure statements added to them, when people aren't sitting there at the end of their videos and putting a nice disclaimer that says this is not the average, this is not what usually happens. When companies don't put disclaimers up there that say these numbers are based on gross revenues, not net profits, you know, what is the long-term result? And people all the time are telling me, Troy, we think you major in minor issues. I do, 100%. It's kind of like obesity, as a matter of fact. You know, if we were focused on losing weight when we're young, then we wouldn't have near the medical issues when we're old. Well, if we would focus on the small things in network marketing that can get our butts in trouble when they're small, then we don't have to worry about regulators hitting us when they're an epidemic. That's the way I see it. Live life like it's an epic adventure. Stay dangerous, stay strong. And if you're in network marketing, act like it.